actors who work around this entire space, and they evaluate each and every project out there. The second important element, so this was like first within like Polygon Village initiative. The second important piece is basically vouchers. So we call them like sort of welcome vouchers. And the idea is, let's say, whatever ecosystem connect you guys need. For example, let's say now you guys, all of you are building, right? Let's say you want to connect with any sort of wallet provider. Or let's say you need like nodes infra and want to get connected, let's say with Alchemy or Infura or anyone else out there, right? Or let's say you need hosting services from Akash Network, or you need AWS credits, right? So basically whatever sort of additional offerings or services or vouchers you need from any of the top tier service providers, even let's say you want to get your smart contracts audited, right? And you want, let's say, Polygon DAO to bear that particular cost for you. So all of these offerings are basically available over there, right? So it's spread, and again, based on the project offering you have in all of the categories, NFT gaming, DeFi, etc., you guys can come and keep on applying for those sort of offerings. Again, this goes to the evaluation pieces, but in this case, we typically follow a 2-week cycle. For example, if you apply today, ideally within 2 weeks, you should get a response that if you're eligible for those sort of vouchers or not. And what we typically do, again, all of us are on Telegram. So we create a Telegram group between you and the partner. Like, let's say you have applied for, again, like just in this case, let's say Alchemy vouchers. So if you go through this particular route, you'll get a preferential treatment because, again, like Polygon and Alchemy has like a proper relationship, a proper partnership. So that's the second piece that I want to cover about, which is like different offerings from different sort of service providers that you guys can just keep on availing. And there's no limit to it. You can apply to as many vouchers or as many services you want. Even if you apply something today and let's say you want to reapply after 2 months, that's totally fine. So that's the second piece that I want to cover. The third is basically around the jobs, right? So within, I think Aniket also spoke about this, we did job drops recently. But if you're looking out, you guys are all building, right? So we really want to motivate that. But let's say if you're still looking out for a job, again in the Web3 space, we again have a very simple link, wagmejobs.polygon.technology. Currently, we have approximately 600 plus jobs over there listed from different sort of Polygon ecosystem partners, right? So you can again go, keep an up, and again, like all of these jobs are properly verified jobs that Polygon team has verified from tier 1, tier 2, three sort of partners. These are majorly remote, these are both tech and non-tech roles. So you can just again go and keep on applying for those sort of relevant jobs as well. We did job drops recently and we'll be doing something more for different sort of other countries and different sort of other players as well. But majorly all of these events will be remote. So again, just keep on applying for those jobs if you guys are interested. I think the fourth one is basically, again, within this entire village piece, is Village Wonders. So what we are doing in this entire space, again, but these are majorly focused towards a project that have already some sort of MVP, that have some sort of traction already, and we are doing sort of like a pre-acceleration cohort with them. So again, the overall idea is we incubate, we'll be shortlisting just 12 projects out of this entire application suite. Indeed, we released the announcement about it last week itself. So 12 projects, one, again, like 2 from NFT, 2 from gaming, 2 from meta, 2, and so on. So basically 2 projects under each of these categories. We'll be incubating those 12 projects into 3-month cohort. And after this 3-month cohort, you'll be having like a dedicated demo day. Within this cohort, we'll be putting like $40,000 worth of investment in each of these projects, plus access to $100,000 of vouchers. You know, like I just mentioned about different sort of partners that we're already having. So you can have a combination of these two. This is equity-based investment or token-based investments. And then ultimately, we'll have a demo day. And we are planning to do demo day at ETH India, which will again be in Bangalore in December first week. But then, and we'll start up this entire, this entire incubation from September, October, November. So these are 3 months that we'll be applying. And again, this application is already open. But then, yes, the preference will be like if you're already live on mainnet and have some sort of traction as well. So majorly, these are the 4 pieces that I want to discuss from Polygon perspective, which is like grants, vouchers, Village Wonders, and jobs. I think that's it. And if you guys have any question, anything, just let me know. Otherwise, I say that.
What is the criteria for vouchers?
Oh, there is honestly no criteria. Of course, you should be on Polygon. Like that's the very important criteria. If you're building something on some other L1, L2, then Sorry. So of course you should be on Polygon or you are migrating to Polygon. Other than that, you should have like a very simple use case. Why do you need that voucher? Right? And just apply. There is no other criteria around if you want to apply or avail any sort of voucher altogether.
Got it. So if you're not on any chain and then you're building something which Polygon...
You just have to specify that you're not live yet. In normal cases, if you're not live, you'll be eligible for certain vouchers. You won't be eligible, let's say, for smart contract voucher because you're already not live. Right? But then you can avail vouchers, let's say, from AWS or Alchemy or Akash Network or other sort of players. Those vouchers are definitely available.
Hello, Aastha.
Hi.
So my question is, like, you mentioned that for the grants program, you usually have 3 levels. So, like, can you give us a brief about what are the metrics, what you look at, and how can we, like, make sure our chances are higher of getting grants and all?
Sure. See, again, I can't put a very strong metric around it, like point number 1 to this, point number 2 this. Of course, we follow a rubric method around like giving grants to any sort of project that apply for grants. But typically, five or six major pointers, right? One is, of course, the background of the team. Like, is it like a single founder or multiple founders? Have you already done something in the Web3 space? Or let's say, have you already built something altogether? Do you have like tech folks in the team, which is like obviously like really important, right? The second is, of course, the idea and the clarity around it. How easily can you describe your problem statement? Do you know your competitors? The third is basically around the stage. Are you on testnet or you're on mainnet? You haven't developed anything and you still need, let's say, grants? Then you basically need to give a proper reason why you need a grant even before starting the development piece, right? So I think majorly it's team, the stage, the competition, the idea, and of course, like present yourself as like in whatever form you can, like in very clear English, basic language. I think that's what we need. We don't need people to put like a lot of jargons all together and then you're not able to understand what you're actually trying to say. So just present yourself in a very simple, clear language, and then yes, that's it.
Any questions?
I think this was the shortest one, right?
No questions?
Yeah, so what I face problem is that when I be building in a hackathon, right? So yeah, पूरा मतलब potential होता है कि I will put this project in a like higher level, industrial level, and then when hackathon ends, okay, और फिर उसके बाद then I work on another project on another hackathon, and sometimes it's like मैं grant ले लेता हूँ उस project के लिए, then I don't get time to work along with that project. So how developers should cope up with this problem? If you could answer this question.
Very interesting. Guys, if you're not getting grants and he's taking all the grants, so he's your guy, huh? Just like go after him, by the way.
No, he has gotten from ETH India, that's why he's asking this question.
But I think, see, so I did my own startup. I was a brutal failure. I couldn't run it. And that's when I realized that I can't do something of my own. Let's say I'm a better suited to be an employee. And that's something that I realized later on, right? Maybe I want to do something later on, but not today, right? So maybe it's just all about like what you really want to do and when you really want to do. If you really want to run your own startup, you'll be so much attached to it that you'll definitely do it by yourself. You won't leave it altogether. You might do, let's say, 100 side projects, but then you'll be still going back to the main project, you know? I think that's what it comes within, and that's when, like, whenever I talk to like other sort of co-founders or builders all together, let's say people who want to drive their own project, I see that very, very strong characteristic within them. You know, they're just like again and again driven towards that sort of project or idea or whatever piece it is. So I think it's just like, if you are actually dedicated towards it, you'll automatically go and run that element only. You look for the long term, right? Not the short term. Not like running or let's say competing in another sort of hackathon, but like building altogether another project. So that is something that will come from within. That's what I feel.
Yeah, is Polygon, say, would be funding the competitors? Let's say there are 10, 15 startups working on the same idea. So how would you assess the different startups, and also would the Polygon DAO be willing to fund both of them, basically? Like,
Yeah, totally. See, even Polygon has competitors, right? That doesn't mean that we are just killing everyone. I think competition is very much healthy. So even if someone comes with a similar sort of idea, but the approach could be like very much different, right? The team composition could be very much different. The traction that they have or the approach to solve the problem could be really different. So yes, we do fund or let's say give grants / invest in project with a similar sort of idea, but then if the approach is different. Then of course, like if the approach and everything else seems to be like very much similar, then might be you're not funding both of them. You know, then might be you're funding the one which has like more traction, which has established themselves or so. But yeah, there are a lot of projects that come because you can't have like 100,000 ideas every day, right? So we see a lot of like, if I give you some ideas, right, at least today I see 60% of the projects that want to basically create another NFT platform, right? So everyone wants to basically create an NFT marketplace. A lot of them will be really, really successful, but then the competition is so high, a lot of them might die, right? So, but then we won't say that we won't fund any sort of NFT marketplace. We will keep on funding them. So, yeah.
Any more questions? Looks like we're all good.
All right, so again, I think the similar link, village.polygon.community, and that's where you guys can apply for all of these things. So we cover grants, vouchers, and jobs. So yeah, great.
Thanks, Aastha. Can we have a round of applause, please?